Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and welcome to another one of our complete before and after house flipping videos. In these videos, we go over all the numbers, not just the numbers you see on the house flipping shows of the repairs and pretty much nothing else, but all the numbers, the carrying costs, the financing costs, the taxes, the insurance, all of that. And we show you the before, after, and also the during the remodel videos as well. So let's get started right now. Of course, check out investformore.com for much more information on my flips, rentals, being an agent, all that good stuff. And we have 9 books on Amazon now. Just came out with a new one on commercial real estate if you're interested in diving into real estate deeper. All right, this house flip was a fast one, right? I feel like our most recent before and after house flip videos have not gone as well as we hoped. There have been major problems, they took too long, the costs piled up. This one was a good flip, so fast right there. We bought it March 3rd, 2020. We sold it June 12th, 2020, which is really fast for a house flip. There's so much that goes on to it, repairing it, selling it, going through the escrow process. It's very rare we get one done this fast. We bought it for $241,800, sold it for $335,900. And that leaves us a profit with $94,100. No, it doesn't. We talk about all the numbers. That is not our profit at all. We'll have to subtract the repairs, the carrying costs, the closing costs, the selling costs, all of that. So we'll let you know what the real profit is after we go through all that, show you what that is, and show you the property too. So let's erase that right now. And to start things off, let's see exactly what this property looked like when we first bought it right now. We're standing outside a house flip we just bought. Purchased this for $241,000. Should be worth right around $330 when we're done. And it will be a relatively easy flip relative to what we've been buying recently. So that will be nice. This is one that we bought from a wholesaler. And I think they were asking $219, something like that, and they kind of got all the investors into a bidding war, which happens sometimes. And oh, this happened before too. There we go. And we decided to come up a little bit in price just because it should be a very simple, easy flip and a really cool house. And Nikki, my project manager, is actually the one who saw this. I was on my little work vacation when, oh, wind chime. Not a ghost, just a wind chime. And she saw it. I've not seen the inside until today. So I was actually really happy with it once I got in here and saw it. We will probably do the kitchen, flooring, paint, fixtures, doors, but not much else besides that. So this was built, I think, in the early 80s. So I'd love for it to have hardwood under here, but I can't imagine it does the kind of time period when they did not do hardwood. The bathrooms aren't even that bad either. They're not amazing, but I'll have to ask Nikki what she thinks. We might even be able to save this tub and this tile. Maybe. Clean up the grout, we'll see. But it's not that bad. The doors are a little beat up, they're flat panel, they're hollow, so I'm thinking those probably need done, and some of them don't match. But otherwise, you know, it's really not a bad house. I wish more of them we bought looked like this, let's say that. The windows are newer, so we don't have to do those. That's a big expense we're avoiding. There's one hole in the wall. I mean, usually we have like 15 holes in the walls, so that's great. I haven't looked in the closet. One thing you learn when you buy wholesale properties, oh, they leave pictures. Why do people do, oh no, like a kid's scrapbook. Why do people leave stuff like that? But anyway, when you're buying a wholesale house, you're almost always going to get stuff left in it. It's not like you're buying it from the multiple listing service with agents where they make sure it's clean and everything's out. And you know, that's just part of the business. We know that's probably going to happen. It has an attic fan, so that's cool. Those are actually really nice to have. My first house had one of those. So it does have 3 bedrooms up here, 1 bathroom up here. I'd love for it to have its own master bath, but it doesn't, so that's just something we'll have to deal with. For those wondering and who are new to the channel, we're in Greeley, Colorado. That's where we do most of our flips, right around Greeley within a 30-mile radius. But that's the upstairs, and then we'll head down to the lower level. So I'm thinking, hoping we can get away with $25,000 and work on this. Everything keeps getting more expensive every time we do a flip. But we're not doing the bathrooms. We're not doing anything structural. We're not doing windows, so hopefully we can stay in that range. We'll have another $25,000 to $30,000 in selling costs, financing costs, carrying costs as well. And then, like I said, hoping to sell right around $330,000. So it should be a pretty quick, easy one. So you can see this lower level is a family room. Then they have another bathroom with the laundry, sink, toilet, and shower, which is in pretty good shape. We're gonna keep that. And you might notice we have another tri-level similar to this. It's got the laundry room with the bathroom in it, but that one is just a tri-level. It does not have the basement. This is a 4-level, so that's nice. Down here, we have an office. This is considered an office because 1, there's no window, and 2, oh, I'll show that in just a second. There is the hot water heater or water heater, sorry, and furnace coming off this room. So at least in Colorado, if you want to have a legal bedroom, you cannot have the furnace, water heater, only access coming from a bedroom. You'd have to have a separate access off the hallway. So even if we had a window, we could not have this an actual bedroom. And these look good too, so that would be fantastic if we're not doing any HVAC. That's what I was showing the giant bear. So that's a weird book. Positions, what is that exactly? Yep, it sure is. Okay. This is I'm trying to keep my channel kid friendly, so I won't talk too much about that book. The 4th bedroom, downstairs, egress window. This was built in a time frame when it was required to have egress windows. That one is not new, but you know what? I bet we can get away without doing it because it's down here and it's still in relatively good shape. Well, we might as well open all the closets if we're going to open one of them. Oh, well, that's disappointing. A shoe. Okay. All right. Now we'll head back upstairs and check out the backyard and the garage. Oh, and we got a sweet TV in the deal too. All right. So the garage, nothing fancy, but it's big. It is definitely deeper than normal and has a lot of room. So that's a great advantage. And back here, big, nice yard. You've got your air conditioning right there. We may have to paint the back of this house or at least touch it up. Obviously there's some issues right there, but nothing major. And then over here, look, we have a little kid's house. So housing is very expensive in Colorado. This is one way to make it more affordable, is adding a second unit to your property. So you can just make your mother or father live in here to save money. No. What's really cool, I would love this as a kid, because it's got skylights, and I used to think skylights were the coolest thing ever. As an adult, I realized that most skylights leak, and they're not quite as cool as I used to think they were. Now it's kind of been demoed. They're prepping for inside paint, and we have all the outside paint done. So we'll show you what it looks like. Today is Tuesday. All right, so in here, you can see they're getting ready for paint. We ripped out all the carpet. We also ripped out the kitchen. We could not decide whether to keep it or not, but decided in the end, they're really flimsy cabinets, not in good shape, and there's so much prep needed to paint them that we would just put in new cabinets. So our plan is to put the LVT vinyl in the living room, kitchen, down to the lower level as well, and then we will put carpet in pretty much the rest of the property. So we'll go upstairs here first. We also, even though they're not right here, are gonna keep the doors and paint those. Some of the lights are still up, some are not. But this bathroom, we're pretty much gonna keep as is. The guys who demoed this decided to use the bathroom and then not flush because the water was off, and we'll show you why, because when I turned the water back on to fix that, we had a leak downstairs. But you can see, this is the master bedroom. This will be carpet. Has newer windows already, so we don't have to worry about those, which is fantastic. And 2 more bedrooms up here. Looks a lot different without flooring and a few pieces of furniture in here. But it'll look much better once it's all painted. And this one should be really easy for us to do. Hopefully in just a couple weeks we're done with it. Already have the kitchen ordered from Home Depot, so it should be here soon. They are still operating. We are in the middle of coronavirus, and Home Depot is still operating. Our subs are still operating. Our contractors are still operating. Pretty much nobody wants to just stop working, at least that we're doing business with. Now we're thinking this house will be worth in the 330 range once we're done. Then we'll have about 25 to 30,000 into it. So it won't be a huge moneymaker, but for as fast and quick as it is, we're hoping to make a decent amount with minimal work. And so far, we have not seen the real estate market crash or even change with coronavirus going on. There's still a lot of buyer activity, a lot of seller activity. We had one flip fall apart due to financing, which was not related to coronavirus, and it went right back under contract. So we're hoping everything continues somewhat normal going into the future, but no one knows for sure. This bathroom will pretty much leave the same except for light fixture, mirror, some other minor stuff up there. Down here is the basement, where you can see right here the water was leaking out of the kitchen pipe faucet, which I'll show you upstairs. So nothing major, a little bit of water came through, but that was why they had the water turned off. Apparently why it was too hard to turn it back on and flush the toilet, which, yeah, anyway. And here is another kind of office down here. Garage there are all the doors getting prepped or ready to paint. And then you can see what the outside paint looks like. The only thing we didn't really think about, so it is staged, ready to list, and we are allowed to list houses in Colorado and have showings now, so that's great. So we did paint the outside of the house, and you can see in the before video, which I'll link to, what it looked like when we first bought it. And we bought this from a wholesaler for $241,800. So I actually did a little bit above and beyond and looked at the price this time to see how much we bought it for. You can see Nikki staged it. She said they had a little problem and their coffee table broke on the way over here. So that's why it looks a little weird without a coffee table. But she's been doing a great job with her staging and saves us money as well. Nikki is my project manager. We painted replaced the flooring in here, and we also did end up replacing the kitchen, as you can see. So these are Home Depot, I think they're the kitchen compact cabinets, Home Depot appliances, just the laminate counters that we get from Home Depot as well. So these are very affordable cabinets and counters. We probably spent, you know, $4,000 in material on this kitchen for everything. So that was probably worth it. Plus we had labor. Upstairs, we have 3 bedrooms and just 1 bath. Be nice to have 2 baths, but it does not have that. And then we kept the doors. So we talked about, do we keep the doors? Do we just paint them? And we ended up just painting them, and we painted all the hardware as well. So those are the same handles, same hinges. We just painted those. They have a special paint you can paint those with, and they turned out pretty good. So good to see that. And you can see this is the master bedroom. Good sized room. It's probably 14 by 13, 15 by 13. And this house itself, I think, is about 2,000 square feet total, if you include all 4 levels. So a lot of you guys ask me, hey, how big is that house? So that's how big this one is. The bathroom, that is the same tile, same tub. We did replace the vanity and mirror, but save a ton of money by keeping the tub and tile, that is for sure. We have the other 2 bedrooms back here. We don't stage every single room. So overall, we didn't have to do a roof. We didn't have to do anything with the HVAC. Very little plumbing work. So we probably ended up spending $25,000 on this, or in that range. It all adds up. All the paint adds up. All the flooring adds up. All the labor adds up. And you have some staging, all the little costs as well. And then we're hoping it'll sell for around $330,000 when all is said and done. And then we'll also have another $20,000 to $25,000 in other costs, financing costs, selling costs, carrying costs. The nice thing about this house is we bought it a month ago. We actually were really fast for once. And so that will cut down on all of our financing costs, carrying costs, while we own this property. So, you know, you see the flipping shows, like, oh, you just had the repairs. Who cares about the utilities, the property taxes, the insurance, maintenance, all those other costs you have. But those all add up. And the longer you have a property, the more those are. And it's very echoey in here. I don't feel like it was like that before. But down here again, flooring, paint is pretty much all we did. Here is the second bathroom. Again, vanity, mirror. Those were there already. The shower is the same shower that was here before. So again, saves us a ton of money when we can do that. They look decent. They're not fancy, but they're workable. And there is a 4th level too. So my very first house I ever bought was a 4 level. So I kind of have a special place in my heart for 4 levels. There's still a tiny bit of stuff we need to do. That window needs cleaned out a little bit. And there's just some real minor touch up that we just saw again. Because every time you go through a house, you find more things. But it's ready for pictures here that will be done later today. And then the furnace. The garage. Didn't do anything in here. Just cleaned it out a little bit. And the backyard, you can see is good size. You can see we painted the back of the house too, the whole thing. And it has this nice covered patio. Oh, and like I said, that screen door is getting fixed too. And then the little playhouse back here, we painted that too, as you can see. And we fixed the little window, put plexiglass back in there. It was broken. There's extra parking back here, which is super nice. I love all the extra parking I can get, I know that. and we'll show you. Oh, it has a little flower planter. I didn't even see that before. Oh, they didn't clean it out in here. See, every time you come back to a property, you find more stuff. That's just how it works. All right, so how much did our repairs cost us? That's always the figure and the number most people pay attention to most on these flips, although the other costs can often be more than these repairs and are often ignored. The really sexy costs are the repairs. So what did we spend on this house? It really wasn't that bad. The house did not need a ton of work, so we'll go through it here. The roof, we had to redo the roof. That was about $7,000. Sometimes we get them for cheaper. This was a 4-level with some different layers, so that was a little more expensive than normal. HVAC, we had to do furnace and AC. So even though it was a fairly new house and the furnace looked okay, it was not okay. It was putting out carbon monoxide. It was not safe. And the AC was totally frozen up, would not work at all. So we had to do both of those. Paint. So when we paint these houses, we use a number of different options. For this one, we used our hourly guy, our contractor, to paint the inside. And then we used some painters that we normally use to paint the outside. And we've worked with them a long time, really done a lot of business with them, so they give us good deals. They know we're easy to work with. So our paint was right around $5,000 for everything. Flooring, around $4,000. Again, we have an amazing carpet guy. And that's one of the things to remember if you're starting out flipping, if you've been flipping for a little while, and you find one guy who's kind of expensive, that doesn't mean that's what it always costs for those repairs. Sometimes you can find people who are cheaper. You can also find people who are more. But we have an amazing flooring guy who's really cheap on install. And then we buy rolls and rolls and rolls of carpet from Home Depot. So we get big discounts when we do that. And then we also buy, not the cheapest of the cheap laminate or vinyl planks, but we don't get the most expensive either. And we have some very cheap guys who install that as well. I shouldn't say cheap, I should say affordable. They still do a good job, but they're affordable, not cheap. So flooring was about $4,000. Our kitchen, again, kind of the same thing. We're buying Home Depot cabinets, and I believe we use kitchen compact cabinets on this. We've used them a lot in the past. The reason we stopped using kitchen compact was they only had kind of the browns that have gone out of style, and they had a white cabinet, but it wasn't a shaker white. It was kind of the old school curvy white, and we didn't like those. So we had been using in-stock Home Depot cabinets that we could paint. Their in-stock white ones in our area also were a little outdated, but Kitchen Compact started doing the shaker, which means they have like this square outline on the cabinet. That's what the shaker means. Kind of looks like a box sort of sticking out, but it's a more updated style. And since they started doing that, we started using Kitchen Compact again. Why do we use them? They can get those cabinets in 2 weeks. So from the time we order them to the time they're done and shipped to us, it's 2 weeks. If we have problems, we can ship them back, get them shipped back right away. It's very easy, very nice, and they have a bigger selection than Home Depot in stock. So for those, it's a couple $1,000s for cabinets for that house. We used a laminate countertop, which is not very expensive. We use stove, range, dishwasher, which is like $1,300, $1,400 total, I think, from Home Depot for our prices, and then installation. So our kitchens are extremely cheap for us to do. You don't have to go crazy going all out on your kitchens to still sell them for a good price. Sell the house for a good price. Fixtures, light fixtures, a little bit of plumbing, and then miscellaneous, we've got $5,000 here. That covers, we did some bathroom work, not a ton. There's very minor plumbing work, some drywall patches, a little bit of landscaping we did, not a whole lot, and just doing some minor stuff throughout the home. We didn't replace doors, we didn't replace windows, so that saved us some money. We actually painted a lot of the door hinges and a lot of the door handles, which saved us money as well. And some people call that cheap and say, oh, you're not really producing a good quality house. But if we can produce it house for cheaper, that means it can be more affordable for the buyers and we can still make money, right? If we're not making money doing these houses, there's no reason for them to do it. And then people will end up buying houses that aren't redone or aren't remodeled, and then they're getting an even worse house. So we still feel good about what we're doing. And really, if you look at new construction, they're not doing anything fancy for this type of home. So our total repairs, $34,500. We can just call it $35,000 to make the math easier later. Not bad for this house considering we did the roof, HVAC, and quite a bit of other remodeling. All right, the financing part of the cost. Usually this is like my least favorite part of it because I look at the flip and I see how long it took us and I say, wow, if I would have just sold this faster, done things quicker, we would have made so much more money and I would have paid so much fewer costs on the financing. This time I can look at that and say, yes, we did pay less on financing costs. So this is a private money loan. That basically means a friend of mine loaned the money. He used to flip houses. Now he just kind of loans money to investors, does a little bit of investing himself. And he charges me 2 points. So a point is basically an origination fee. So that means it's a percentage of your loan. My loan on this, I didn't write that anywhere, I should, was $241,800. So I got 100% financing. That's one great thing about private money. We also use hard money and bank money. I have a video that goes over all of them. I'll link to or just search for Invest for More in Financing. But 2% of that loan amount is basically what he charges me for the loan origination fee. So that's right there. Interest, he charges me 10% on these. I say pay a little less on some other loans, more on some other loans. Hard money can be cheaper, bank money can be even cheaper, but it's so easy. I literally send him a text message and he says yes, almost always. Sometimes he says no, but usually yes. And so the interest on this is $2,015 a month. We held it for just under 3 months. So we're estimating again because I'm lazy and we're saying $6,000 in interest, $10,836 on financing costs. That's not bad, especially if you see some of my other complete before and after videos, which we have a playlist of, and this will be in that playlist. That is pretty good, and I'm very happy with that number. All right, what about the selling costs? And we'll mix in the buying costs here too. Now, first thing to realize is, I'm gonna add buying right here, but I bought this from a wholesaler. So there's a little more cost when I buy from a wholesaler than if I buy from the MLS, because the wholesaler doesn't pay title insurance, some of the closing fees. They pass those costs on to me as a buyer. So I have to be accounting for that, which in my state, maybe $1,000, $1,500. In other states, it can be much more. So make sure you realize that there will be more costs when you're working with most wholesalers. Now, I also don't make a commission when I buy from a wholesaler, whereas if I buy from the MLS, I get a commission because I'm a broker, because I am an agent. But when I sell the property, I still save money. I pay a buyer's agent almost every deal. We have one other flip we're doing right now, which I am not paying a buyer's agent, and that's really, really rare. That almost never happens. We've done almost 200 flips now. Very, very rare that we don't pay a buyer's agent. But this is basically half of the commission, 3% of $335,900, and that's what we offer sellers, buyer's agents, when we list the properties. We sell the properties for much more and sell them much faster if we pay buyer's agents. Title insurance. So in Colorado, we use title companies. We don't use attorneys. And that can usually range about $1,000 to $2,000 per side. Now, since I bought it from a wholesaler, I'm paying for both of those sides. And that's why that money is a little more than it might be on a normal deal. Now, I could do a hold open policy with the title company. And that means I use one title company. I say, I'm going to sell this house quickly. They hold it open, and it's much easier for them to provide title insurance because it's just me buying it and selling it a few months later. That could save me $700 to $800. However, I have to use the title company the wholesaler likes to use, and I would rather use my own personal title company. I think it's safer. It actually saves me money in the long run, and it's so much easier for me to use my title company who's local and who I trust a lot more. And finally, closing fees. There's a closing fee when I bought it, a closing fee when I sell it. There's some flood certifications, some doc fees, recording fees, things like that. So really, the closing costs weren't too bad on this one. We're looking at, I made my math easy this time, $13,077 for the selling and buying costs on this flip. All right, now the carrying costs. This is something you almost never hear about on TV or even other house flipping accounts, influencers, whatever, while you're holding this property, you have a lot of costs, right? You don't just get to hold it for free. You have to pay utilities, electric, gas, water, sewer, the whole time you own it. You have property taxes, you have insurance, you have maintenance. I didn't add these up yet. That's a mistake. We'll see how good my math is. Utilities. That seems kind of high, but we bought the house in March. We still had to have the heat on. We had to do some watering of the yard. So that's about right. Taxes. I know a lot of you will hate me for this who don't live in Colorado. There were $1,076 a year in property taxes on this house. So crazy low property taxes on this one. I'm sure they'll be upped soon, but that was insane. Insurance. You know, we have homeowners insurance on the property while we own it in case it burns down or a tornado comes or something. And then maintenance. While we own the house, we have to mow the lawn. We have to do snow removal. There's certain things you have to do while you own the house. We can't just let the yard grow 2 feet tall or have it piled up with snow, because the city will place a lien on your property and charge you way more money to clean it up than you could do it for yourself. So what do we have? 900, 1320, 1595. Hopefully I did that right. That's what I'm going with. Those are your carrying costs. All right, now we're coming to the fun part where we figure the profit. At least it's fun if we make money. It's not as much fun if we don't make money, but this was a pretty good one. And we actually could have made, well, not made more, but sold it faster than we did. We sold it in less than 3 months. We had a cash buyer that had it under contract to buy that would have closed almost a month sooner than that. Crazy, I know. But they were buying it at $225. We're giving them a deal because they're a cash buyer. And so it would have sold quicker. We would have had a little bit less cost if we did that, but a lower price. So they backed out because of the inspection, even though there weren't hardly any serious items on the inspection. The biggest thing was trimming the trees for them, but they still backed out. And luckily enough, they did, because we got much more money with the new buyer. So let's look at what we made thanks to that new buyer. Sold it for $335,900. $241,800 was what we bought it for. The repairs were $34,800. Financing costs were $10,836. Carrying costs $1,595. Selling costs $13,077. So let me just carry the 9 over here. I have the number right here. Don't worry. It's $33,792. I don't want to embarrass myself doing subtraction on the video. So that's our profit for doing a flip in 3 months, getting it in and out quick. That's pretty good. It was a newer house, a pretty simple one. We knew there wasn't a whole lot that could go wrong. We're kind of hoping we wouldn't have to do the roof or the HVAC, but we planned for it just in case we still had room to do those things. If not, it would have been even better, but it's very rare that the flips go exactly as you plan them. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Hope you enjoyed all the numbers and this flip. I know we did. We'd love it if all the flips were this easy. And of course, check out investformore.com for more information on everything we do. Hit the like button if you like these videos. That helps us out a lot. We love all the new subscribers and the comments, so keep them coming too. And as a reminder, our new book on commercial real estate is out right now on Amazon, as well as 8 other books I have written too. So make sure you grab those if you want some more in-depth information on real estate.